This is Midweek Politics with Dave Pakman.
Welcome back to Midweek Politics. I'm David Pakman. Please visit us on Facebook, facebook.com/Midweek Politics, as well as on YouTube, youtube.com/Midweek Politics, and send us your email, which we will get to a little bit later. radio@midweekpolitics.com, of course, is the email address. Elena Kagan and Lewis, how much time do we have, by the way? You'll let me know. I don't know how we're doing here. Elena Kagan has been nominated to the Supreme Court by Barack Obama. She's currently the Solicitor General of the U.S. She's been to Princeton, Oxford, Harvard Law School. She was Associate White House Counsel to Bill Clinton. Now, her lack of judicial experience will, of course, be an issue to Republicans, but it will also mean, I think, that there's less to nitpick, less decisions. We'll see. We've already seen that some of her opinions are the subject of quite a bit of criticism. However, the most interesting thing here is we're already seeing incredible hypocrisy about what's going on with Elena Kagan. Here is Senator John Cornyn, this is a few years ago, talking about that incompetent nominee of George W. Bush, Harriet Miers. Remember Harriet Miers? She had to pull her name out of the running altogether because of the embarrassment that it would have been. Here is John Cornyn talking about her.
Yes. Do you think that the Miers nomination shows that it would be almost impossible for someone to serve on the Supreme Court now if they haven't been a judge before?
Well, I certainly hope that's not the case, and it shouldn't be the case. I mean, one reason I felt so strongly about Harriet Miers' qualifications is I thought she would fill some very important gaps in the Supreme Court, because right now you have people who've been federal judges, circuit judges, most of their lives, or academicians, and what you see is a lack of grounding in reality and common sense that I think would be very beneficial.
Okay, so you hear him saying that the lack of judicial experience when it came to Harriet Miers, Republican nominee, was not a problem. However, you know exactly where I'm going with this. Yesterday, Cornyn attacked Elena Kagan because, according to him, she lacks judicial experience. Really, I'm not kidding. Here's what he said. Ms. Kagan is likewise a surprising choice because she lacks judicial experience. Most Americans believe that prior judicial experience is a necessary credential for Supreme Court justice. Well, when he says most Americans, he must not mean he himself just a couple of years ago when it came to Harriet Miers. Apparently what Cornyn meant is that Miers' common sense background involved being a Republican, right? Which is really what qualified her for the Supreme Court in his eyes. Abortion could be an issue, it's being said. Could be an issue. Concern about Kagan possibly seeking tougher restrictions based on a recommendation made to Bill Clinton is also being thrown out there. That is a concern on the Democratic side. Remember Sotomayor's New Haven firefighters case? Well, I think the equivalent for Kagan could be defending Harvard's restriction on having military recruiters on their campus in protest of the Pentagon's don't ask, don't tell policy. This is an issue that she will need to talk to the American people about, according to Jeff Sessions. Take a listen to what he said to George Stephanopoulos.
I have great concerns about that. That went on for a number of years. It was a national issue. People still remember the debate about it. She reversed the policy. When she became dean, they were allowing the military to come back on campus and had been for a couple of years.
Well, they were always on campus, right? They just weren't using the Office of Career Service.
Okay, so Jeff Sessions is concerned, of course, an Alabama senator. The concern is Kagan signed a brief which challenged the law that let the U.S. government withhold millions of dollars in federal aid if the university won't let military recruiters on the campus in the exact same way as other employers. The Supreme Court voted 8-0 to uphold the law, rejecting Kagan's argument. The other argument we'll hear is, hey, she's had some decisions or opinions reversed by the Supreme Court. Hey, we've heard that with every single justice. The opposite side always likes to bring that up. And by the way, Republicans are defending slavery to attack Kagan. 1 month after Republicans celebrated a slavery-free version of the Confederacy, they're defending slavery in order to attack Elena Kagan. In the memo, the Republicans blast the former clerk to Thurgood Marshall for concurring with her boss's assessment that the Constitution, as originally conceived, was defective when it comes to the 3/5 law about African Americans and slavery. Republicans, really? You want to defend slavery in order to criticize Barack Obama's nominee? Come on. I think that that's the wrong way to go.
I agree.
It
does not make sense.
It's just not smart. And if they really, here's the bottom line. Ms. Kagan is not going to be Harriet Miers. She is going to be approved. I can't imagine any circumstances where she will not be confirmed. And that's just, I can't see any way around it. Today on the post-show bonus podcast, if you don't get it, you should, at midweekpolitics.com/membership. We'll talk about Sister Margaret McBride, who was excommunicated by the Catholic Church for allowing an abortion because the pregnancy she was engaged in threatened her life. And we'll also talk about yet another Republican affair, but surprisingly not a gay one. I know at this point we're so used to all the Republican affairs being gay affairs, and also a possible murder related to SB 1070 in Arizona. New stations this week: WLFR in Pomona, New Jersey, also reaching Atlantic City, our first Jersey station. And new on TV, Great Falls TV and Searsport Community Television, both in Maine. Last week's poll: the Times Square bomber should 62% say be tried in an American court, 24% say tried in a military tribunal or some other kind of military court, and a few people just don't know. The new poll: should there be criminal charges in the BP oil spill? Go to midweekpolitics.com, vote now, results next week. Your emails, radio@midweekpolitics.com, and of course send us voicemail, 219-2-DAVID-P. Let's see, what do we have here? Feedback on our interview with hospital CEO Craig Mellon. Great interview. It's refreshing to hear Mr. Mellon put people first. His way makes perfect sense. On the Lewis makeover, which if you haven't seen, check out youtube.com/midweekpolitics. Lewis got a makeover last week. As you can see from what he's wearing, the makeover did not stick. Lewis looks sharp. Nice improvement. Looking good, Lou. Lewis, you do clean up well. You should take her advice. The before made you look unkempt, and the after made you look professional and well put together. Also, I saw your undies, and I laughed. Incredibly polarizing, the Lewis makeover. I was thin like that once when I was 15. Looking good, dude. And an email from someone who claims to be twice the size of Lewis. I'm a 34-inch waist and about twice the size of you, referring to the fact that Lewis thought he wore a 34-inch waist pair of jeans, when in reality it was, what was it?
Like a 31.
Right.
But I do have some jeans that are 34 waist. I just have to wear a belt with them. There
you go. Okay. And lastly, on Ned Ryan, who was the teabagger claiming the crazies at Tea Party rallies are actually liberals in disguise. A lot of email about him. He needs to really grab deep into his magician hat to explain the rational, smart people that teabaggers are. But I get it now, Ned. Thanks for explaining that the crazy ones are plants, them being lefties. It all makes sense. You're a great problem solver. Anyone who is nonpartisan wouldn't refer to anything Glenn Beck or Tea Party related as a movement. Another email quoting Ned that the left is better at adopting new things. That's an interesting way of saying more in tune with the times. And why didn't this group, American Majority, call for a fiscal conservative to challenge the free spending Bush for the GOP nomination in 2004? I think we know the answer to that. And lastly, this guy is so embarrassed by the Tea Party that he calls those with misspelled signs left-wing spies. Pathetic. You know what? I have a hard time believing that all of those misspelled signs at Tea Party rallies are just liberals in disguise. I think the teabaggers are actually writing those signs. We'll see you next week. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to Midweek Politics with Dave Pakman.
Midweek Politics is brought to you in part by Jackson & Connor, classically modern men's apparel in Northampton, Massachusetts on the second floor of Thorne's Marketplace, and by DIF Design, specializing in custom business websites at difdesign.com. To find out more about underwriting Midweek Politics, visit midweekpolitics.com.